Hi everybody, this is Mr. Roche. We are working with the bouncy house. We've gotten the balls all there and we've gotten it to start and stop. But we haven't really worked on the reset button, and I want to do something about showing people the number of balls that they can make in the bouncy house, okay? And it's a kind of a question of neatening up some of the stuff that we used to do. So what had happened before, in the kind of the original idea of this, was to go like this and have you have a kind of an alert statement here, and when you run that, the thing about doing an alert right here um, is that you when you open up the browser, it goes like this, and you don't get the scene first, and that it seems kind of bad. So what I want to do is I want to set up a kind of a default, like the default that we have is like 10 right now, but show that sort of over here, and then work with that to show the people if they had a reset, then we'd have the alert come out of here. Okay, and that's sort of the idea right now. So first thing you got to do is, if you have one of these, is take it out. We don't want the alert up here, okay, for anything. Okay, right now we have like default ball size, and we have max number of balls. I don't know if we need the default ball. Oh, the default ball says the size of the ball. This is like the max number of balls, so that's all good. Okay, and then what I want to do right now today is I want to go and do some HTML work to add another div over here into the menu bar. Okay, so it doesn't have to be a button this time, it can just be a div. Okay, so I'm going to go like that and make a div. Okay, and then I'm going to put it in class menu item. Okay, I'm going to go here and I'm going to ID it as well, so it's going to have an ID name. Okay, something, and then we're going to have a class name, and it's going to fit in the menu item class again. It'll save us time because we've already styled a menu item, and we can just use that styling for what we're going to do. Okay, so it's got a class there. Gotta say class equals, right? Just like those up there, and then I might call it like ball counter. Okay, so I have this element now that's called ball counter. Okay, and what I want to do is get it. I'm gonna have to let's see. Let's pull up the CSS here for a second. Okay, so I've got my CSS. I'm using view layout 3 columns, so I can get the style to show up too. And what I want to do is I want to put some styling on the menu item to make sure that it, or the ball counter, make sure it shows up, and we can see what it looks like and things like this, right? And it's already got some attributes of the menu item. It already has all this stuff, so it already has, like, it's going to have this font, it's going to have this background color, it's going to have the same color the other ones. We could change that, but we can. I'm going to go like this right now just so we can see it. Okay, I'm going to go hashtag ball counter. Okay, and that corresponds to this, right? And we're going to add some styling to it. I'm going to make it like, I don't know, I'll put a border on it maybe. Like 2 pixels, solid, and we'll say black or something like that right now, or blue. So it'll show up, and then we'll say color like red, so people can, so we can change the color. So if you have a like an ID here, I think it'll kind of override this one. We'll see though. Okay, so that's that. And then if we run it, okay, so what I do is I sort of added this thing. We have to see where it's going to show up. So I'm going to shave all. It's not really going to show up in the right place right now because the menu bar has like padding on it, and we have to kind of take that off. So what's going to happen is, it looks like it sort of weirdly showed up there, or it pushed it way over to the side, like stuff like that. So it's doing some weird stuff right there. But let's try to get this straightened out. What we want to do is go to the menu bar, and I'm going to take out the 15% padding here. Okay. So I'm going to make it be, have no padding on the side now, since we're going to use like the 3 buttons totally. Okay. I'm going to make these guys be 35%, okay, or 33. Yeah, let's see if that works. Let's try even 30, like let's do 30 right now. So it'll definitely fit. And then everybody's gonna float. Ball counter's there. Okay. Um, yep. I think this is okay. So let's see what happens now if we run it. Okay, it's there, but it doesn't have any like text or anything like that right now. So it's gonna be like it's got this. It's small. That's the point. Okay, so that's okay. What we're gonna do now is get some text in there. Okay, so it'll have something in it, and we'll go like this. Now we're gonna run this through the JavaScript. Okay, and so what's gonna happen here is as soon as you get the default number of balls, right, we can go like this, and we can write that right out to the screen. So we can go like this. We can say let's see. The thing I have to do is I have to use JavaScript to get this element here, the ball counter. Okay, so I'm going to use this. I'm going to go var b counter. Okay, and I'm going to say document get element by ID, and it's the ball counter. Okay. Okay, and that's gonna get that. I'm gonna try to pull this over a little bit. Okay, and then in the JavaScript, what we're gonna do is we're gonna say b counter, right? Dot inner HTML, and then we're gonna say that equals. It's gonna be the default ball size right now, or no, default number of balls. Whoopee! I gotta move this down below here. Okay, it's actually this, but I put this in the wrong place. So how do we cut this? We'll put it here. Boom. And I want to show people that this is how many balls are left, right? I'm going to call this like max number of balls, like that. Okay. And I think that'll show. Let's see. Okay. And maybe to make it safe, we'll go to string because we know how to do that, and that's good. Okay, so we'll use the toString thing for that. Okay, and let's see what happens when we run this. So we'll save it. And see how like 10 shows up? Okay, 10 shows up in a weird way. That's not my fault, but that's kind of good. Okay, so let's take the like we could add something like this. We could say something like and we could go like this because we have room to do this. And we'll make a string with the add sign, and then we'll say message. Okay, you can say anything you want, but let's see what this looks like. And let's run it. Whoops, something happened. I got it, and I forgot to put a equal sign here, so I think the whole thing just bombed. Let's try this. There you go. I like that. Okay, we could fool around with this, but that seems okay. So I'm happy with that. I'm gonna change the color of that. I think. Might go back to let's go back to CSS here, but you can see how like JavaScript and CSS have to work together, and with the HTML to make this sort of happen, which is fine. Okay, we'll go over here, menu item. I'm gonna pull out these guys. Okay, and I might give this guy a different color, like I don't know. We'll say Dodger blue or something like that. So just so it shows up differently, and we'll run this, and that looks good. So it's got something like that. I could change this thing too. I think I'll fool around with this, but that's what I like. Okay. So then what we want to do then is as you make balls, this should go down. Okay. So what we need to do there is, this is a JavaScript thing now. So all our CSS is done, and all our HTMLing is done, and we're going to do everything now with JavaScript. So basically what we're doing here is we're going to kind of keep this thing going on, okay? We're going to go like this. Okay, so you have balls made, and you have max number of balls, and you can use those to figure out how many balls you have left, right? So what we're going to do is we kind of run things when we click. So see this right here? Okay. So when we click, we can add this sort of feature to the clicking, okay? And the way this would work would be, we just had to add a couple of things, right? Okay, so this is like final, you know, check balls remaining to be made, something like that, right? And what we're going to do now is, you could say something like this. You can make a var like right here, and you could say balls remaining. Okay, and that's going to equal basically the max number of balls minus how many you've made. Okay, and then those two statements we used before. Oops, not those two. The ones we got from above, we can just use down here again. So see this message? You want to keep the same message, and we'll fix this up down here. Oopie. We'll go like this, and go like this. Okay. And I think this is all. Oh yeah, let me push this over. Okay, and this is the same thing. And since we already know who B counter is, we don't have to go find it again, right? And then this is going to be, instead of max number of balls, this is going to be balls remaining. Okay, so let's see how that works, okay? So let's save it. And we're going to run it, okay? Okay, so when I do this, whoopee, it's not doing anything. Hang on, let me find out what the error is here. Yeah, balls remaining is not defined. Okay, so I didn't spell it. Oh, there's just like an S problem. I guess I don't type S's very well. Okay, so let's go back down there. Oop, and let me pull this over if I can. Yep, there we go. Where'd that happen? It's here. Okay, balls remaining. It's this. If I just put an S here, I think it'll work. Okay, so that has to match that, right? There you go. So let's try that. And let's run it. And that's good. See how it changed to 9? That's cool, right? That's good. 8, 7, 6, 5, right? And then you can run it, and they're bouncing, and they stop, and you still have 5. And that's good. 3, 2, 1, and then you say 0. And so then now people know that they can't add any more balls, and they have to do something different, right? So that's good. Okay. So so I think that's a good thing for the good feature to make. Okay. I'm gonna work on my color a little bit, but and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna work on the reset button. Okay. So and that'll be the sort of the next thing. Okay. So great, and we'll see you in a little bit. So get that done, and we'll see you.